All right, you guys, here we go. The Sony ZV-E1. I've been waiting for this package now for over a month since I pre-ordered this thing on day one, but it feels like it's been like 3 months since I've actually got to play around with this camera. If you guys remember my last few videos, I did actually get a chance to use this camera for about a week back when I was in Sweden in February, so I'm very excited to get this thing opened up and start using this camera. So anyone who's finding this video that's new to this channel, I've been doing a lot of like Sony ZV-E10 reviews, videos, product stuff, as well as like a lot of the Sony a7S III. So this is gonna be kind of a cool little middle ground. It's kind of like both of those cameras put together. So let's just get this thing open now. See what this is. Okay, so this is kind of an unusual box for Sony. I don't know what to think about that. Usually Sony, you get these nice like black and orange boxes that are colored and decorative. This feels like a box that should be inside of that box. But you know what, it's a box, so whatever, let's get this thing open. Let's see what comes with this camera, because I'm really curious to see what actually shipped with this product itself. So of course you have all of the warranty stuff, the manuals. Put that aside because we'll never look at that again. And looks like we have a strap for the Sony ZV-E1. Looks like a battery. So that's cool. And what's this? I'm guessing this is the windscreen. This guy's really stuck in there. Okay, yeah, so yeah, the windscreen for the top and the camera. Let's see here. So that's all that it comes with. That's kind of weird. I feel like, I get that like Sony likes to not give chargers out unless you're buying like the premium line stuff. But this doesn't even look like it came with a cable, so that's kind of weird. So yeah, there's no USB-C cable, which is kind of a weird thing to be like left without in the package. I would imagine you guys already have one probably at home, but that's just kind of a weird thing. You need to be able to charge the camera, so for Sony not putting that in the box, that's kind of a weird one. But here we go. Here is the Sony ZV-E1. Look at that. So this thing is it is a really cool full frame like vlogger camera. So if you guys are familiar with the Sony ZV-E10, it's going to be a very similar camera to that. The only real big difference is this one is a full frame sensor and it's 10-bit 422, and it's got all the basic things that like the a7S III has or the FX3. So this is going to be like kind of an a7S III in disguise inside of like a ZV body. So like I said before, I did get to use this for about a week when we were in Sweden. The one thing that I would say about this thing right away was that I wasn't really happy with the grip on this camera. It's not bad, it's better than the ZV-E10, but it's still kind of a shallow grip because let's face it, if you do put a big full frame lens on there, it's kind of, you want something a little bit more grippy. But other than that, I don't really have a lot of complaints with this camera at all. I was always using a microphone anyways for externally, but you do get this cool little windscreen to put over the mic. This mic capsule is quite a bit better than the other camera itself. It's definitely better than the a7S III, and it's probably better than the Sony ZV-E10 because this thing has a cool options where you can have it face forward, you can have it face backwards, or you can have it face kind of all around. And then there's a setting that's called like an auto mic setting, which basically if it senses a face, it's going to detect to that. If it doesn't, then it's going to go the other way. So there's some really cool things with that microphone. We'll get more into like a real review with this camera soon, but I just wanted to get this thing open and kind of see how it looked. So looking at the side here, like it does have just one card slot. So if you guys are just kind of doing like vlogging stuff and non-professional work, the one card slot's fine. In fact, like most of the time I'm filming stuff on my camera with the a7S III, I'm really only using one SD card anyways, so I don't really see that as a big deal. On the top here, you do have your USB-C and your microphone input. I like that it's at the top because then it doesn't get in the way of the flip screen. And then at the bottom, you do have a micro HDMI and a headphone jack. So you do get a headphone jack, so if you are kind of wanting to do some professional monitoring while filming other things, you can do that still. But the micro HDMI, it's not as good as having a full-sized HDMI, of course, but it's really not going to be a big downside to me. I do monitor stuff a lot. Like right now, I'm actually using 2 monitors to monitor my overhead and on my main. But really, the micro HDMI is fine. You just have to make sure it's not going to pop out on you. So, but yes, the fully articulating screen is awesome. It still has custom buttons. It has the defocus if you're using like automatic modes. It's got that cool zoom rocker, which is something my A7S III doesn't have. So if you're using something like that F4 power zoom, it's going to be a really good pairing with that. But yeah, I'm really excited to start using this camera. There's some really cool functions in here. Like I said, review coming soon. But one of the things that I really didn't actually get to use a whole lot, because I didn't even realize it had it when we were playing with this camera, is it has a cool little like auto cropping thing where you can tell it in 3 different zoom levels how much to crop in on you. And then like when you walk around the room, it's gonna follow you and it's gonna kind of give it a look like someone's literally following you with a camera. And it does that all like in sensor, which is really cool. That's going to be a really, really, really big thing to have when you're doing like filming or like vlogging or filming by yourself. It's really gonna make it nice to have that look that people are kind of helping you, because that never happens. So, but yeah, you guys, this is the Sony ZV-E1. If you guys are kind of wondering too, I did actually ask Sony about this when we were at NAB. The ZV, it does apparently stand for like Gen Z vlogger. So if you guys are going to be vlogging and you want the absolute best quality you can get out of a camera, this is going to be a really, really good option for you guys. So do check this thing out. Do subscribe down below, you guys, and follow along if you guys want to see reviews on this camera, because we're going to do a real big deep dive in this. We're going to compare this to the ZV-E10. We're going to compare this to like the the A7S III. We maybe even compare this thing to the ZV-1, because there's a lot of things that are in this camera that started on the ZV-1, believe that or not. So anyways, you guys, if you like this video, hit that like button down below. Like I said before, subscribe to the channel if you want to follow along to more stuff about the ZV-E1. And as always, guys, we'll catch you on the next one. Later.